Hello, childrens. Welcome back to another edition of Old Man Shouting at Clouds. Today's topic is the importance of doing. Okay, so I've kind of already, well, not kind of, I did already talk about the importance of failing, okay, and why we shouldn't be afraid of it. So I do kind of touch on this topic a bit in that video, but I think it's worth going a little further into the importance of doing things, okay? So failing is one part of doing, and it's one of the key reasons why I think a lot of people don't do things. But let's be more clear about what I'm saying here. So what I am saying is it is important to not be afraid of failure and just to try things, even if you might be bad at them, even if you might not succeed at them. If there's something that you're thinking of doing and something is holding you back, just do it, okay? You'll find out. You'll find out if you're good at it. You'll find out if there's even a possibility that you could be good at it, but you won't find that out if you don't actually try. So you have to try. Now, let's be way more clear. I'm talking about things that are, you know, an ambition of yours. Let's say you've always wanted to get good at playing the guitar, but you're afraid to try it because you don't know where to start. You don't know if you'll be any good at it. Maybe you're afraid that you'll play in front of your friends or family members and you'll be embarrassed because you stink at it. Don't let those things hold you back from doing things. Just do it. Let me solve a bunch of problems for you and answer some questions in your head. Yes, the first time you try it, you will be bad at it. You might be terrible at it. You might be humiliatingly bad at it. Most people are the first time they do anything. But failing is a necessary step to succeeding in most things, okay? The first time you try it and you're not going to be good at it. Now, you might be not completely horrible at it, and if you're not, hey, that might be a thing you have some aptitude for. That's definitely worth pursuing. But even if you aren't, that's not a reason to just give up, okay? Keep trying, keep doing things. Now, I'm not talking about stupid things, okay? So let's make sure that's really clear. What I'm not telling you to do is, hey, wouldn't it be fun to drive 100 miles an hour down a residential street? Dad said do it. No, I'm going to be very clear. Do not do that stuff, okay? The risk versus reward equation is very imbalanced in an activity like that, okay? So the best possible thing that could happen from driving 100 miles an hour down a residential street is that you don't kill yourself or anyone else. Well, that would also be true if you hadn't done that. The worst possible thing that could happen is one of those things, or both. You could kill yourself, you could kill someone else, or you could kill both. So that's not what I'm talking about. In that situation, you'd be much better off to not do the thing. But for other things like trying a new sport, taking a new class, taking musical instrument lessons, trying to learn how to code in a computer, uh, robotics, being an astronaut, like, try it. What's the worst that could possibly happen? The worst thing that can generally happen in those situations is you find out you're not any good at it. Okay, well, now you know the answer to that question, right? So take an example from my life. When I was in college, I took a class in calculus, and I was genuinely terrible at it. Now, it could have just been that time in my life. Maybe if I tried it now, I'd be better at it. But I definitely wasn't good at it at the time. It didn't come naturally to me. I did work hard at it, and I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So being a calculus professor probably was not in the cards for me, but I know that now. I took the class. I know it didn't come easily to me. I know I wasn't able to figure it out even by the end of the class, so chances are good that was not a good option for me. And I know that now. I don't have to sit here at 42 years old and look back on my life and say, man, what if, what if I had tried harder? Would I be good at it? Maybe I could be Oppenheimer. Okay. that's not a thing that's real for me, and I know that. Now, it's not to say that at 42 you couldn't go back and try something new and find out that you're great at it. And by the way, the internet is littered with videos that will tell you it's never too late. You can always try something and find out that you're good. You can restart your career. And those are true statements, right? Okay, I can't disprove that, but the reality is when you're 42 years old, especially if you're married, you have kids, there's people depending on you, making those changes is significantly more difficult. It's not that you can't do it, it's just a lot harder. And potentially even irresponsible, right? So for me, if you take the situation that I'm in today, I'm the primary breadwinner of our family, meaning I make the lion's share of the money for our family. If I just decide on a whim, you know what, I always wanted to be an astronaut. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go back to school. That's going to generate a really uncomfortable conversation with your mom, right? Because she's going to have very legitimate questions along the lines of, what are you thinking? How are we going to pay our mortgage? How are we going to afford to eat? You do realize you have 3 kids, right? So perfectly valid questions. And just so that this is 1,000,000% clear, I don't regret any of my choices. Did I always dream of being a salesperson? No. But it is something I have an aptitude for. There are parts of the job I really like. There are parts I really don't like. There are parts that are very hard. But I do think it's a pretty good fit for me as a person. Are there other things I dreamed of doing as a kid that I didn't try, or at least I didn't see it through to find out whether or not it was possible? Yeah, there are. And those things would be incredibly difficult at this age, and given my life situation, to go back and undo, right? Or go back and try it again. So for example, I've always loved music. I've always loved playing guitar. There is a tiny part of me that wonders what could have happened if I had completely dedicated myself to guitar playing at a young age. And it's not too late, right? I still play guitar. You guys hear me doing it. But the reality is, now is not really the time for me to dedicate myself to playing guitar when I have 3 kids, a dog, a wife, a mortgage payment. We're saving up to finish our basement. This is not really the time for me to quit a job that makes those things possible, to chase after a dream that might not even be realistic. But when you're a kid, when you're in middle school, high school, college even, you don't have those responsibilities. That's the time to find this stuff out. So what the whole point of this video is be brave when it comes to that kind of stuff, especially when you're young. Take the chance, take the guitar lessons, double down on the things you're interested in, because you don't have those responsibilities at that age. Now, yeah, I am going to expect you to go to school. Yes, I'm going to expect you to get good grades. So you have some responsibilities, but you have very few compared to what you'll have later in life. So take the chance, do the thing, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks about that. Don't worry about impressing your friends. Don't worry about even impressing us. It doesn't matter. We don't care. We want you to do the things that you enjoy and you're good at, and the things that bring some kind of value to your life and that you're satisfied with, okay? Now, we're going to be proud of you no matter what. We're going to love you no matter what. But if you try those things, you'll at least know the answer, good, bad, or otherwise, right? So if I had dedicated myself from a young age to playing guitar and I found out I just didn't have it, look, it doesn't mean I have to put the guitar down. I've developed a skill set. Even if I'm not good enough to make a living doing that, I can at least still play the guitar around the campfire, right? And enjoy myself. It's something I can do with my time that is rewarding. Just because I can't make a living at it doesn't mean it was all for nothing, right? But I'll also know the answer to that. So I won't wonder, man, if I had played guitar from the time I got home and finished my homework until the time I went to bed, could I have made it? I won't wonder that, and I don't want you to wonder that. So if there's something you like, and or at least you're curious about it and you'd like to try it, just try it. Worst thing that can happen is you're no worse off than you were before. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful. I love you very much, and I'll speak to you in the next one.